Yes, most often in our lives and in business, we mostly strive for growth, development, and prosperity. However, growth, development, and prosperity does not happen in a vacuum. It happens and comes by through a process. Now, this process comes by through the policy arrangement, the rules and regulations, philosophies, the guidelines you have for your life and business that is supposed to be independent of you. Now, let's look at this practical example. I happen to have instituted some policies, rules, and regulations in my business space. And one of it is that whoever has been assigned with any duty must fulfill that duty to its premium by referencing the policies, rules, and regulations of the company, independent of the CEO. And rules and regulations must be obeyed to keep your jobs. Now, so something interesting happened when I had a very good friend of mine show up at my business space. And for one or two reasons, he didn't have cash on him at the time he had to pass through to pick up a service we rendered on his car. And so, due to the fact that he was a regular customer and well known to my staff, which is as a result of loyalty, commitment to the company. Maybe he was of the view, since they know him and he's a credible gentleman, very, very credible, that could pay for him to go with his vehicle and will come to make payment the following day, which obviously I knew he will, because he's a very credible gentleman. Now, this is what happened. The sales lady, the cashier, refused to grant him that opportunity, and so said unless he makes payment, his car cannot be released. And actually that is what the policy guideline says. And so this gentleman, being a very good friend of mine, called me and told me this is the situation. He had actually sent his driver to pick up the car, and this is the feedback and that was given to him. And apparently immediately I said, okay, yeah, that is what it is, but I'm going to call the office immediately and arrange for the release of his car. Now, this is what I did, and I had to do to set a precedent. So I immediately called the office and then told the sales lady, the cashier, that I was personally going to pay for the service of that vehicle so that it be released to my French driver, so that when he comes to make payment, they can then transfer that money back into my account. So immediately I effected payment and the car was released. Okay, now I did not use my position as the CEO to authorize her to release the car and the gentleman will come in to pay later. Should I do that, I set a wrong precedence. That will not let the policy arrangement of the company hold, and that will make it difficult to hold them accountable per the rules, regulations, and policies of the company to hold. And so I set the right precedent, so they then can then follow and make sure the right things are done always. Okay, so these are some of the ways you want to institute and ensure that you have a structure in your company or business space or in your life work. If you don't put down the right measures, rules, regulations, and policies in place to regulate your business operations and anything you are managing, you might not get an effective and efficient functioning of your systems. And so, in as much as you are the boss, you set the pace. You must make sure the right things are done, irrespective of some of the inconveniences that might come your way. You have to set the right precedent and make sure right things are done to set the right precedent for the staff you are managing, to ensure that policies, rules, and regulations of the company work effectively, even in your absence. And so, my thoughts for you as I share as an entrepreneur some of the practical ways of making sure your systems and structures work, even in your absence, to be able to ensure that your business grows, develops, and becomes sustainable. All right. We lose some of these aspects of our business structural arrangement. And so we have CEOs dying with their businesses without being able to leave their businesses behind. And so a thought I feel like sharing for fellow entrepreneurs, so we can be able to sustain our businesses and increase our profitabilities and leave a legacy for the next generation. My thought for you. Right. Take care. Bye. Even as I continue my morning exercise. Take care and cheers.